Hey, this is Gary from 30Bug Media, and today we're going to talk about how to choose the right type of content for your business. Now, aside from not creating any type of content, creating the wrong content is probably the biggest mistake small business owners make when they're trying to execute a content strategy as part of their marketing plan. Okay, and content is super important, and it's a very effective inbound marketing method to attract business if it's executed properly, and you kind of have an idea of what you're doing, and you're not just creating content willy-nilly like most small business owners do. So today we're going to talk about some tips, hopefully to get you the most out of the content that you're going to create. Okay, now the first thing you need to ask is, will it attract customers? Okay, is this a topic that my customers or potential customers are even interested in? Is it something that they're going to want to click on, they're going to want to go read or watch a video or something like that? So you really have to think about if it's even something that's going to be of interest to them and if it's something that they're looking for. You also need to know if it's related to what you do, and this is a common mistake business owners make, is they're creating content in their industry, but it's just attracting the wrong type of people in there. And to give you an example, say you're an interior design company and you're creating content and you're creating a lot of, how to do this, how to do that type of content. But really what you're doing is you're not attracting people who might want to hire you for your service. You're attracting DIYers who want to learn how to do it themselves on a budget because they probably don't have the finances or resources to hire somebody like you. So whenever you're creating any kind of content, think about what type of customer that you're going to attract. The other thing you need to know is, as far as SEO, search engine optimization, where you're trying to get your content to rank on the first page of Google so people can discover and click on your link and go to your website and things like that. You want to figure out, well, is the content I'm creating, is it going to be for SEO or is it going to be for an audience? A lot of times it's the same, but sometimes it's different. To give you an example, if you're doing something for SEO, one of the things that we always recommend for a new business doing new content is start with Q&A. Q&A is the foundation of search, is the foundation of Google. People ask a question, they look for content that has answers to their questions. So a good starting point is create a list of 20, 25 of the most common questions that you get from potential customers and turn those into blog posts or turn those into videos, because you are guaranteed that there's people out there that are searching for it online, which is a little bit different if you're creating content for an in-house audience. Maybe you have a large email list, you have a huge following on Facebook, something like that, and you're creating more opinion pieces and maybe things that people aren't necessarily searching for. So if you're an interior designer, if you're doing SEO, you might do what color trends are popular in 2018, and that might be a good one because people are searching for that. One that you're writing for an audience might be something like why I chose to stop using yellow in my designs in 2018. Well, that's good. It might be good for an internal audience, but people aren't searching for that. Why designers stopped using yellow in 2018? It's not really a searchable question. The first one is. So think about what type of content you're creating, but also what your strategy is. Are you trying to get this content ranked in SEO, or are you trying to get it, reach an existing audience? The problem that I see a lot with businesses is they're writing more content based on on their inbuilt audience, but they don't have an inbuilt audience yet, so there's nobody reading it. So I usually recommend focus on some core SEO Q&A type posts first, get a base, and then as you start to get an audience, then you can start creating more content for your inbuilt audience, whether that's on social media or maybe you just have a large blog following or email list or something like that. So will it attract my ideal customer? That's what you want to know first and foremost. Secondly is, what part of the marketing funnel will I be targeting? Because different types of content targets different types of people along different parts of the marketing funnel. Okay, to give you an example is, say you're targeting the top of the funnel. Those are more awareness type of content. People just discovered or just realized that I would love to have an in-ground pool or something like that. So now they're just trying to get some information on it. Why should I buy an in-ground pool, or what types of in-ground pools are there? Or there are things like that. They're looking at information because they just started their journey. So if you're creating a lot of that top of the funnel content, general awareness type of post, don't expect those people to contact you to buy a fiberglass pool, because they are just starting their journey and they're probably still several months away from becoming your customer. This is probably your biggest opportunity to pull people into your funnel, but you're not going to convert those people into customers overnight. And you have to realize that when you're creating your type of content. So top of the funnel, a lot of times you're going to create educational content, fun stuff, things like that. Maybe just give them some pricing, give them an idea, ballpark idea of what they're getting into. As you start to move to the middle of the funnel, you're going to start engaging with them more as they start to become more serious. And this is where you might get into case studies, why you should buy a fiberglass pool, or why we sell, why most consumers use purchase fiberglass pools over concrete or above ground pools and things like that. Or maybe highlighting your specific products or services and doing blog posts, creating videos, showing all the different things that are available. As people get more engaged and they get more serious, they're going to want more specific types of content. As you move towards the bottom of the funnel, this is where you're trying to convert people. These are people that they already did their research. They already did their, they already learned, kind of decided what type of pool they want. All the specs, things like that. They understand all that stuff now. When they're at the bottom here, now they're just trying to pick, who am I going to purchase it from? And this is where you get into reviews, maybe reviews about your products, reviews about your service, maybe reviews about your business, comparisons, maybe you against, competitor A, B, or C, or maybe your product versus, competitor products, things like that, testimonials, even some case studies, things that convince them. They already know. You don't need to convince them at this point that they want to buy a pool. You need to convince them that you want to buy a pool from us at that point. So whenever you're creating content, think about where in the funnel you're going to target these type of people and make sure that fits your strategy. Next is, will it engage people? Same thing as will it attract customers? Well, is it useful? Is it interesting to people? Are people going to be engaged with it? Or is it going to be lean-in content, as we call it, where they see that topic and they're going to lean in and be like, holy crap, I've been looking for this. Like, this is awesome. They want to read it. They want to take it in, whether it's a blog post or video or white paper or whatever it is. You want to make sure if it's something that's going to make people take action. They're going to want to click on the link. They want to go to your website or contact you. You want to get them excited. So make sure that it's useful and it's interesting and it solves, some sort of problem for them, informational gap or a real problem or something like that. Next is, how does it compare against similar content? So, and this is more of a strategy too, if you're trying to get search engine rankings for it. You'd like it to rank high in Google so people can find it. And if that's the case, you need to compare it against comparable content. So the easiest way to do it is take your topic, do a Google search for it, look through the first page of results, and look at the content that's already there, that's already been published, and look, how long is it? Are they 500 word articles? Are they 1,200, 2,000 word articles? What kind of style do they use? Is it boring? Is it, more engaging type of content? Is it funny? Is it humorous? Things like that. Are they incorporating video, or are they incorporating graphics in there? Things like that. You want to make sure that, number one, you're doing at minimum what everyone else is doing. So everybody else is doing really highly engaging content, really long posts, a lot of video, stuff like that. Then you need, at a minimum, need to make sure that you're doing that. Hopefully what you'll find is when you do that, you'll see a lot of gaps in the content. There's information that's missing. They're not doing video. They're not adding enough graphics. It's old, it's outdated, stale content. That gives you the opportunity to come in and create something epic that's going to be 10 times better than anything else on, the first page of Google on there. And that's the approach that you want to take. So make sure that you're comparing it before you actually figure out what you're going to do. Once you figure out what you're going to do, that you compare it and you make sure that you're not creating some kind of flimsy content that you're never going to be able to rank. Anyway, which gets us to the last point. If you're doing SEO, can you rank for it? So if you're creating this content with the hopes of getting it ranked in Google and people finding it in the search engines, who ranks for it now, and do you have a chance? And this is something that a lot of people don't look at. They spend a lot of time creating content and then they publish it. If you're a real estate agent, you're doing something on, buying a house. And then after you create all this content, you spend, a dozen hours creating it and you spend a whole bunch of money trying to put it together. Then you realize the first page of Google is Realtor.com, Trillia.com, Zillow.com, Redfin.com, websites where you never have a chance in a million years to compete with on there. So what happens is you never had a chance to rank for it anyway. And if you did some competitive research and looked, you probably would have realized that right away. Whereas, you know, if you're a real estate agent and you look and you do some research, you may find that maybe the first page has several local real estate agents and their content's not that great. That means that there's gaps there and there's opportunities for you to get on the first page of Google as well. Okay? So hopefully this gave you a little bit of an idea when you're creating content. Don't just pick an idea at the top of your head and just write about it. Make sure you do a little bit of research. You want to try to get as much mileage as you can out of the content you're creating, because creating content is time consuming. It can be expensive if you're hiring an outside person to write it and help promote it and things like that. So make sure that you get the most mileage out of every piece of content that you create. So that's it. Good luck creating your content. If you have any questions, you go to 3bugmedia.com. Thank you very much and have a good day.